As many times as I've been out to the Marquesa, I mean, that was one of my main guiding areas. I've never done a mothership trip out there. I've never spent the night in the Marquesas.
Shafter had taken us before in his other boat. This is a brand new boat. I mean, it was a nice setup.
The best part about the whole thing was that we were there in May when the fishing's going to be really good.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, man!
There you go. On the fly.
He ate
I love it. Man, I love it.
Oh, nice job!
Oh! Yeah!
Come on, come on! Oh! He ate it! He ate it! He ate it! Nice, baby! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about! I thought you said you had to...
Got him, relax.
Oh! Dude, he just ripped my boat off! Oh! Awesome! Look at that big boy! Woo!
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Tom Rowland and Captain Rich Tudor.
You got the everything in the kitchen sink bag there?
Well, let's hope we don't need all that.
Break my back lifting it.
Plenty of heavy lures.
You want me to leave this on the deck or put it inside?
The deck's fine. Bait motel.
Yep. You got all the crabs?
Yep.
How many crabs you got?
100. Maybe 2.
All right.
See? Some fly rods.
Yep.
I got all the flies.
So that trip down to the Marquesas, that was absolutely incredible, man. You've taken me out there a few different times, you know, when we've left out of Key West and things, and we've had some great trips, but this time was special because we didn't have to come back. I mean, that was so cool. A few years ago, we'd gone out with Shafter back in the Everglades, and he took us back there on his mothership there, and he kept telling us, you know, hey, you guys, you know, we gotta try a Marquesas trip sometime, and I mean, that really stuck, you know, in my mind as something that I wanted to do. And finally had the opportunity, got that new boat. He ran the big mothership down there. You and I got rigged up at Hawks Cay. We had a 36 yellowfin. We had our bay boat, got them loaded up with gear. I mean, it was so cool to realize, you know what, we're gonna leave from here today and we're not coming back for a week. We're gonna run to the Marquesa and not come back for a week. That was so cool, and just, you know, just bringing everything we could, because, you know, you don't know what you're gonna get into. You were like, you know, we gotta bring this rod and that rod and all this gear, and it was cool to get that packed up and make that trip. We left here from Hawks Cay at mile marker 61 with the 36 in the bay boat, ran straight down there, got to Key West, 61 miles, fueled up there, topped off everything, and then shot off another 20-some miles to the Marquesas, right? You ran on the bay side of the bay boat, I ran on the ocean side with the 36, and you had actually gotten there before I did, right? And I remember getting on the radio, kind of, where's the boat? You know, you were talking about the mothership's on the far side, and it was just so cool to be heading out there. You know, sun was starting to go down, you know, it's starting to be evening, and you're thinking, I should be going the other direction.
Yeah.
And to turn that corner, and sure enough, there's this mothership ready to go, and just to see that and pull up, I mean, that was pretty cool.
Nice boat, Shafter.
I beat you.
Yeah, man. I went the long way. Man, that's quite a rig you got here.
A little different.
Wow.
Come on.
Woo! The new Blue Moon, huh?
That's it.
Man, you keep upgrading.
Well, you know, as many times as I've been out to the Marquesas, I mean, that was one of my main guiding areas. I've never done a mothership trip out there. I've never spent the night in the Marquesas. So I was super excited for a lot of reasons. I mean, the stars at night, you know, it's just an incredible location where there are no extra lights around at all. So you get an amazing star show. And then just the ability to fish, like, you know, late into the day or super early in the morning. I mean, you're an afternoon guy, I'm a morning guy. But to get out there in the real dark light, like I like to do for the tarpon, you know, before the sun comes up, then you get that magic time where the sun is just coming up. In order to do that, you know, you got to leave the dock really super early in Key West.
From here, you had to leave at 3 in the morning to get to your place, you know, to leave by 5, you know, so that was really special.
So this is pretty cool. This is normally the time we start leaving Hawks Cay to drive to Key West. And then by the time we get to a location like this, it'd be 3 hours later. Beautiful morning.
Look at that sunrise right there.
Wow.
So I think we'll go and look for tarpon first thing this morning. It's actually calming down as
Where will you look? And On the outside or the channels?
Yeah, we can look on the outside and in the channels both. You know, there's some places where they typically stage, you know, overnight. We'll look there and see if we see them. And if we don't, then maybe we'll come back here and eat breakfast and then go permit fishing.
Nice.
But I think we'll see them.
Now, are these migrators that we're looking for? Or like,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same deal as everywhere else. They'll swim the ocean and then we'll also you know, be able to fish in the channels and stuff. But they're definitely migrating fish.
Nice. Well, the only time I ever tarpon fished here was that one time you sent me up with that one guy and told me where to go. And I don't remember when it was. It was about this time of year, but man, we saw a lot of fish. It was cool.
Yeah. Well, I hope we're going to see a lot of fish today. You guys ready?
Yep.
On the fly.
He ate
I love it. Man, I love it.
Oh, nice job.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you in part by Hawks Cay, the only key you'll need. By Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. By Mercury Marine, #1 on the water. Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. Quantum Rods and Reels, fishing at a quantum level. And by Costa, Power Pole, and Key Largo.
When we pulled up there, you know, and got settled in the Mothership, this was cool because this is a brand new boat. Shafter had taken us before in his other boat. This was brand new. This was a more seaworthy boat. It was able to get out across that open water and travel anywhere he wanted to go. You know, getting in there, it was really exciting just to see it. You know, get our boats tied up. We put the 36 off to the side there a little bit, anchored it offshore, jumped in there. I mean, looked around. I mean, the accommodations were really plush. I mean,
Yeah.
that little deck up top, you know, where you could sit there and grill and eat, and just plenty of room, great accommodations. I mean, it was a nice setup.
The best of everything. I mean, you say grill up on top, but he had a green egg up there. His, you know, getting the perfect steak. His dad was all into making the perfect steak, and the food was fantastic. But the best part about the whole thing was that we were there in May when the fishing's going to be really good. And you know, we've gone out there a number of times, kind of on the shoulder seasons or off seasons, but I don't know that we've ever gone out there together when you know in the peak of the season there. So going out there, getting ready, we've got everything all situated and ready to go for a week of fishing, and now it's time to you know, go fishing that next morning. So we asked Shafter to go with us, and I'm looking around at the tide and everything and thinking, okay, I think I know exactly where they're going to be.
Are they down deep or?
Not in the morning. They're going to be right up on the surface.
There you go, right off the bow.
You see him? He was following you right there.
Throw yours, Rich.
There's another one rolling you up in that slick water.
That's what we want. We're going to get right on the edge of this channel. We can put the power pole down, and we can just take our shots.
So if we get them to where they're sitting in one spot and I get a good shot, should I just go with the crab?
Well, on the first shot.
There they are, right there.
On the first shot, we're going to hook them with whatever we throw in there.
Really, they'll hit the lure just as good.
Well, they're just sitting in there playing poker. They're hanging out.
Now you were just left of that one.
Get bit right here. There he is.
You got a bite? Yep. Tom's got him on. Look at that. Oh yeah, man. That was awesome. You want me to be quieter?
Get in there. No, I want you to get in there.
That was cool, man.
You knew that running down there, those fish had not been touched. That nobody's messed with them. You see them rolling. You had the utmost confidence that first cast you're getting.
That first cast is it. I mean, that's the #1 time of the entire day. I mean, in my opinion, that's the #1 time.
Sure.
These fish have been undisturbed, completely undisturbed for at least 8 hours. But that is their most relaxed state.
It was interesting. After you made that first cast, it was over in that spot. You broke up their game. But you knew all we got to do is run to the next channel. Put the motor down, ran halfway around the island, and you had another spot.
That's definitely not that first group of fish. That's a bigger fish. Oh my gosh. Tail up, fin out of the water.
It's pretty cool. You know, we saw the fish out there in that second channel. You could see they were staying in that same area, made the right approach, you know, and just the anticipation was so high because I'd seen you hook them on the first cast the last time. But this time the light was already up a good bit and they weren't quite as aggressive. We got casts in there just anticipating to get bit. Shafter was casting, he was throwing a fly rod. You know, I was throwing lures. You even got some pinfish out and we were trying to catch them on pinfish and crabs and they just weren't biting as good. It was interesting to see that once that sun got up, you know, we were seeing tons of fish, but the feed bag was off.
Right.
And we really had to work at it. I had almost given up. I mean, you know, because throwing crabs and stuff in there. And Shafter just stayed with it. He was sitting on the back of the boat. Here we are on the front of the boat. You and I both casting, like, and Shafter's on the back, just kind of, he was just dredging that fly through there, just keeping it wet. We knew that there was tarpon moving down the channel, and we couldn't see him all the time, but he just kept it wet. Next thing you know, hooked up.
Good job, Shafter.
Big tarpon, man.
On the fly.
He ate
I love it. Man, I love it.
Oh, nice job.
Good job.
That was cool, man.
I was thinking, man, maybe
The double hand worm. Did you see that? I just trimmed that tail.
today could be the day where the...
Nice job, buddy.
That's terrific, Shafter. I guess we should kind of
Go
move
after
after
him.
him a little bit.
Yeah, I'm fairly deep into backing.
Good job, Shafter.
That was cool. I saw that big giant flash. I got. Nice, buddy.
Might hook another one in this channel while we're fighting this one.
I'll keep it wet.
Burn your finger?
Yeah, pretty good.
Way to go, man.
Nice.
I love it when
Cool
the fly
leap.
is the best.
That was impressive. Here we are. We had
Sitting here
lures
throwing
and
everything
crabs
else under the sun.
I just trimmed that little toad tail about that much, and because I knew those fish had to have seen that thing.
He loved that.
Oh yeah, just a little bit smaller.
That was a lesson learned, you know, just watching him back there, being persistent with it. He stuck with that fly. Sure enough, hooked that fish. You know, did a great job fighting him. That fish is jumping all over the place in that early morning light, just beautiful.
Oh, nice jump.
Good job, Shafter.
Well, the fly is a great way to fish for those fish, especially in the early morning, and you know, probably even better in some situations than live bait, because if we're fishing, you know, a mullet's one thing where he's moving all through the channel and he's going to bring those tarpon in, but we didn't have mullet that day. We had pinfish or crabs. Well, a crab, you're going to throw it out there and it's going to take a very small path down that channel like this. The fly, he's throwing it over here 100 feet and he's bringing it across that channel and it's sweeping down like this. So he's actually covering way more water. It's dark, they can't see that well. He's moving that in front of them. A lure's the same kind of deal. You're really covering a tremendous amount of water.
There he is.
Yeah.
The crab is great if you know where they are and you're going to drift it right through them. If you don't know where they are, it's not a searching thing, you know. You really kind of need to know, and I think that's why he was able to hook one right there, because he just kept at it, and we're moving a little bit in the channel here and there, up and down, and so he's just covering that area with that fly, and you know, Shafter likes to cast.
Good job, Shafter. It's a little different than fighting them in that muddy water up in... You've been fishing in the clear water too lately, though, I know. So Shafter, you been able to catch one of these yourself this season?
I've gotten a couple so far.
Have you?
I got a good one on the ocean the other day, finally.
That's the thing, man.
You don't get a whole lot of time on the
think a
bow.
lot of the fishing guides, all they do is fish all the time, but it's not the case at all.
Yeah, as a guide, if you get a couple a year, you're doing really good. I mean, personally.
Well, I love seeing you catch this one. It's awesome.
Well, touch the leader and he counts as a release. Everything above that just makes it better.
You want me to touch it?
Yep,
Bring it to me. I'm not going to try too hard.
there you go.
Take your time.
We got a release.
No rush, no rush.
Yeah, we'll just take
Got
our time.
all day. I don't see any more fish rolling anyway. Boy, he's mean.
This guy,
Man, there's not
yours.
another boat anywhere to be seen today, Tom. This is incredible. Oh, there he goes.
Oh well.
Good job,
That's
buddy.
good.
Good job, man. Good job.
Good work. That was fun.
That was cool.
We got any more of those flies?
Look at that. Is that tarpon there? I see a
Probably.
big splash too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got any more
got
of
any
those
more of
flies?
those
That's the
flies?
most important question.
After Shafter caught that fish, you know, the fish
Right.
kind of shut down a little
Right.
bit. We saw the storms kind of coming in
Right.
and stuff like that. And so it was like, you know, this was such a nice
We were
option.
actually racing to get that fish in because the
Right.
storm was coming.
You knew the storm was coming, we could see it. But the nice thing was the peace of mind knowing that, you know what,
Absolutely.
we've only got a half a mile to go
Yeah.
to back to the boat.
Not 25.
Right. Chilled out there, had a little snack.
That was breakfast.
Yeah.
We wait, and you know, it wasn't more than a couple hours, and we were back thinking, okay, well, it looks pretty good. Let's go
Well, and
fishing.
what was interesting is all the other boats left. We'd only seen a couple other boats in the first place, but we were the only boat out there that afternoon.
Yeah.
They're just in here in this little bit deeper water. Wow. Bunch of fish over there.
This year, I put a tremendous amount of time and effort into our blog, saltwaterexperience.com. Go to the blog, you can see articles on all kinds of things. And one of the most popular sections there are where people can ask me questions and I'll answer them right there on the blog. One of the most commonly asked questions is, if I only am able to buy one reel, what would that be? And typically for a South Florida angler, we get a lot of people from South Florida that ask this question. We're looking for something that's going to have a good amount of capacity, and it's going to have a good drag capable of stopping a big fish. So down here we fish for big tarpon, we might go offshore, fish for mutton snapper, sailfish, tuna. We're going to fish for bonefish and redfish inside here in the backcountry, as well as snook, small sharks. There is one reel that can do it all, and that is a 50 size. Now this is going to have the capacity of 325 yards of 30-pound braid. Now with 30-pound braid, I can stop just about anything. And this reel is perfect because while it may be a little bit on the small side and kind of small feeling and lightweight for a big tarpon or a big shark or maybe a sailfish, a little bit smaller than a lot of reels that people choose, it still has the capacity and the stopping power. But it's a lightweight reel that allows me to cast with it, and I can go in the backcountry and I can catch bonefish, redfish, smaller fish like that. I can even give it to my kids, and it's not a reel that's too big for them to handle. So if you're looking for that one reel, it's the size 50, and I just love the Cabo. If you have a question you'd like for me to answer, go to saltwaterexperience.com, go to the blog, and submit a question.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you in part by Yeti, built for the wild. By Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate. True Flies, life off the chart. Vicious, get vicious. Motor Guide, accuracy matters. And by the Florida Keys and Key West, Buff, Fraybill, and Live Water Sports.
For full-length shows, step-by-step instruction, and stuff you've never seen on TV, go to saltwaterexperience.com.
What was really unique there, and this is something that I've seen in other places that's special, is the cloud cover came in so
Right.
dense.
Yeah.
It was almost like early morning. The rain had stopped, but it was very overcast.
Right.
And it was really a kind of a special condition. I've seen great bone fishing in those conditions all day, you know, where the bonefish tailed all day. I've seen tarpon fishing where it was good like that.
Right.
And as we started running around, I saw the birds dive. And we ran up in there, and it was these little tiny glass minnows. And I was like, no big deal. But as we stopped, boom, there's a tarpon just rolled. And we just kind of looked around for a little bit. And all of a sudden, boof, you'd see this tarpon ate something. And I guess they were eating those glass minnows.
Oh my gosh. There's some crazy eats going on.
You know, we're having this guppy hatch. As far as we can see, we're seeing these things doing this.
It was
And they're
awesome. I mean,
busting
honestly,
over here and slow rolling over here.
I've seen some cool stuff before, but that is the coolest scenario I've ever seen for tarpon. Big, giant, 100-pound class tarpon cruising around up on these flats. And when they go up to hit these things, they weren't just eating them, they were coming out like a breaching whale.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. There you go.
Boof! It was like the most incredible bite I've ever seen.
But the one you hooked he was the meanest one in the ocean. That guy, man, I didn't know if you were gonna land him or not. He was taking you all over the place, and you were fishing with, you know, really a bonefish rod, and you hooked this big fish.
Which was super fun because you could cast it and stuff. But man, that caliber fish, he was well over 100 pounds, and he's dragging us around. He kind of came up and half jumped once, but as we started getting a little deeper water, all of a sudden this big bull shark came crashing in and started chasing the tarpon around, and I had to free spool it under the boat, and I think the tarpon something finally broke, but I'd had all I wanted out of that fish and then some.
I think.
I bet the other fish got it.
I think between the shark and everything, got up above the line.
Yeah, well, probably better.
Way to go, man. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
The clouds starting to part a little bit, and the tide's getting lower, and we're seeing fewer and fewer and fewer fish. And you know, at that time, you know, I'm thinking, wow, you know, got a long ride home. And then it just kind of hit me. No, we don't.
There it is.
We're going right there. I mean, literally, it was in sight right there. We go over there, have a great dinner, and it was exactly what I thought that night. We're gonna have an amazing star show. It was just terrific. And then we're prepared.
You know what the coolest
for
part
a
about
week.
was? That was only day one.
I know. Now we're prepared for a week of this. So many things in the Marquesas that I want to show you. And this is day one. I'm starting to think, okay, here are the tides. This is what we're going to do. Starting to put together a plan for tomorrow. And man, I'll tell you what.
Can't wait for tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. There you go.
And I love it.
Oh, nice job!